are entering a stage of season where the end of summer is in sight, and with that comes some pretty sad-looking flower pots and porch pots. Porch planters take that first hit. We see it firsthand with flowers that are deflated. They're kind of discolored, they are leggy, they're overgrown, they just look sad and a little bit pathetic. So today we'll step in with a solution for that. If you act now, you can punch up the vibrancy of your front porch display with a look that will carry you right through the fall season. Our friend Brian Lloyd has some ideas for us, and in fact, you gardeners, you growers, you have a nickname, I understand, for this time of year?
Yes, it's kind of the tween.
The
season.
tween? The awkward?
Yeah, it's too hot for the petunias and the spring annuals that we always put out earlier in the year.
Yeah.
That have done us so well over the summer, but now they're just kind of petering out. And so, and it's too early for the corn stalks and the straw bales, right? The fall. But it's not too early to spruce up our porches and get a lot of color into the porch.
No offense to the 13-year-olds out there, but it is feeling very tweeny right now on my front porch. I knew we were going to be talking about this. I wanted to snap a picture, you know, proof in the picture, and I was too embarrassed. I mean, it's sad looking. So you have one flower in particular that you say will serve us well during this tween gardening season.
Yeah, we call it the fall mum, but the mum is not necessarily just for fall. We've already started shipping our mums at Olson's Greenhouse.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
They're in color right now, and we'll carry them clear through to the fall. But the mum is great, Brooke, because you can use it in the summer and it holds up to the heat. So it's a great fall plant because it blooms naturally in the fall, but it's a bright, vivid color that we can put in our yards and on our porches right now and really spruce things up.
I like the uniformity of it. The bloom itself kind of takes on this uniform shape. And I was telling Brian there was a particular trip to New York. I've been several times the last 10 years or so, but I visited Long Island, a girlfriend who was living out there. These were abundant on the East Coast and just so charming in style and design.
You know, mums are really popular nationwide, and we're not quite into it as like other cities in the country. Yet here in Utah,
but you think we should be?
There.
You think we should be? Okay, teach us about how to style and how to care for these gorgeous plants.
Well, I know you're talking about working out today, and normally gardening is a workout, but this is the easiest part of gardening.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
We can buy mums at the store in ready-to-use containers and just pop them on the porch. It's as easy as that. Add a bench, add a crate, add a lantern, and put some mums in and maybe a pumpkin later on when they come on, and we're good to go. That's all it takes to really spruce things up and make it colorful on the front porch.
What do we look for in a good mum as we're purchasing at the gardening center? Anything in particular to spots?
Yeah, the biggest thing is they're all going to be healthy usually, but we want to get the most bloom time that we can. And so when we ship mums, we ship them when they're cracking color, we call it. So right when you can tell when that bud is starting to open up and we can tell just barely what color it's going to be, when it moves from a tight bud and then it starts to open, that's going to give us the maximum enjoyment. So we can get 8 weeks or even longer out of those blooms if we do it now. The biggest thing I like to say, Brooke, is people think that spring is the time for planting, and it is. We only get about 3 months out of our plants in the spring, though, if you think May, June, and July. But when we plant our mums or put our mums out in August, we can get 3 months out of the fall as well. So August, September, October, and even up to Thanksgiving, those mums will look great.
And the way you've layered this, it looks like a scene from Martha Stewart magazine. I mean, it doesn't look too fall, but it has those hints as we ease closer to that approaching season. But with the benches and kind of the stacked crates, this is a really, really charming look.
Yeah, it's kind of got, and we've got a little bit, you can put some vintage tin in and blacks or whatever colors you like. But what's great is now this will transition perfectly as you add the straw bales and the corn stalks later on.
Right, I came home with some wooden pitchforks the other day that I had found and my husband was a little concerned.
Don't put them out yet, it's still summer,
Halloween.
Late summer.
Okay, color variety, you said there are a few colors to look forward to in the mum category?
Yeah, mums come in oranges and yellows like we typically think for fall, but what's great is they also come in reds and pinks and purples.
These are pretty, these rich tones.
And whites as well. So, so plenty of colors to choose from. It doesn't have to be fall colors, it can be spring and summer-like colors as well.
And I do love how you commented and paired these with kind of the more rustic container. Any tips to pull that off from a planting perspective?
No, this is really easy. So what I like to do on these planters is you can put soil in.
Gorgeous.
And this is a black-eyed Susan.
Yeah.
We're going to plant this planter up
Those
just
are
real
huge.
quick. Yeah. These are it's a form of Rudbeckia black-eyed Susan. This one's an annual version, though. It's called Denver Daisy.
Okay.
But it doesn't survive over the winters here, but it's got some great fall, late summer color.
Oh, I love it.
When you're planting containers in the fall, it's just like in the spring. You can pull out of the pots and put them into the soil, or you can leave them in pots. And this is what I like to do. And then we can kind of pull some pots out if they happen to die or not look as great.
Oh, and replace them.
And replace them. And we can even add gourds and pumpkins into our planters
kind of
later
cover
on.
up the seaming of it.
Yeah, it's the same technique as in the spring.
Yeah.
Thrillers, fillers, and spillers.
I knew he was going to say that, didn't you?
So basically, I've got, you know, a purple fountain grass, the black-eyed Susan, and then some trailing plants, usually in purples for foliage.
I am already feeling better about my front porch life right now, seeing these colors come together and the textures.
And then all it takes is maybe a mum in the corner.
There it is. Ooh,
And
see how they just mound? I just love that.
And if that starts to look bad, we can take it out and put another mum in because we didn't pull it out of the pot. Or if you planted it, you could pull it out as well.
Clever.
And replant. And then we add a gourd or a pumpkin. And we've got kind of a pre-fall container ready to go.
So clever this time of year to keep them in the pots. I like that idea because you can switch them out so easily, and those gourds just add the perfect finishing touch. I think that was like a 90-second planting job. Nice job. We
And
can
anything
appreciate
can
that.
be a container. You can, I've got this vintage tin, you can use wood, you can use crates. Just
Sure.
make sure you've got drainage.
Right.
Whether you pull them out of the pots or not, they still need water, and that water's got to get out somehow. So you got to have drainage. I've got holes drilled in the bottom of this.
And what is the mum like as far as water and care?
This time of year when it's 100 degrees, we're watering every
Drench it,
day,
yeah.
sometimes twice a day.
Okay.
But that'll cool down really quickly. And when we get back down into the 90s, 80s, and 70s, now we start slowing down our water. Clear into October, we're maybe only watering once every 2 or 3 days.
All right, where can we get our hands on the Olson's Greenhouse mums?
Olson's Greenhouse sells to Home Depot and Walmart. And like I said, we have our mums there now, ready to go.
All right, I've got my weekend project laid out in front of me. Thanks so much for the
Yeah, you're
inspiration, and
welcome.
thank the talented
Thanks, Brooke.
designers that work behind the scenes too. This looks fantastic, definitely inspiring. We appreciate it, Brian.